What's shaking, nerds? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be showing you the basics of night vision. This is something that isn't very intuitive when you start the game on how to get night vision goggles and how to attach them to your helmets. So I'm going to be showing you the basics, some tips and tricks, and all sort of jazz like that. So stick around. The first thing I want to do is break down all four night visions and go from cheapest to most expensive, and then we're going to take a look in game what they actually look like when you're using them. So the first one we're going to talk about is the PNV-10T. This is from Skier level 2. It's 31,000 rubles. The next one we have is the Armasight N15. This is from Peacekeeper level 3 and it's 730 American dollars. Then we've got the AN PVS 14 night vision. This is Skier level 3 and it is 102,000 rubles. And then finally we've got the Cadillac of night vision, you could say. It's the GP NVG 18. It's from Peacekeeper level 4, but it does cost a lot, just like a Cadillac. It's 1,600 American dollars. Now let's go take a look at what these each look like in raid. So the first one we're looking at is the PNV-10T. This is the cheapest night vision you can buy. It's from Skier level 2, like I said, 31,000 rubles. And you know what? It's about 50% of the screen you can see. I don't know, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but you can see that the outer circle there is all taken up by darkness. You can't really see much, but it is still 50% visibility, and it's not that bad with clarity. I think it's still pretty decent. But again, you get what you pay for with this night vision. The next night vision we're going to be looking at is the AN PVS 14 night vision monocular. I don't know how to say it. Monocular? It's like a monocle. That's how I say it. Even on your character, he's only looking through it through one eye, and that's exactly what you get here. Look at it. You can see 30% of the screen. It's a little more clear than the PNV-10T, but this is my most hated probably night vision, only because your field of view is so distorted. It's crazy. Not my most recommended here. The next one we're looking at is the Armasight N15. This is almost exactly like the PNV-10T, like especially with the point of view, it's almost identical. The only difference is instead of that green tinge that most night vision gives you, this one gives you kind of a turquoise tinge. It is called something different. It's not just like turquoise tinge. It's something strategic, but it is different. I think it's more clear than the PNV-10T, but the downside to this is you need to use this NVG mask. And if you're using this NVG mask with the Armasight, it means you can't wear a regular helmet, which is a huge downside. So we're now looking at the GP NVG 18. This is the most expensive night vision you can get, but there is a reason. Look at the field of view. You can see so much. Your screen's barely taken up by any darkness. A little bit on the corners, but nothing crazy. I love this night vision, but again, the price tag is fairly hefty on it. So if you do get this early on, you know, you could be wasting a lot of money if you do die. So just be careful. If you have a lot of money lying around and you are max level, I'd highly recommend this night vision. It is great, but again, the price tag, I don't know, it's pretty hefty. It's pretty hefty. Now, before I show you a really cheap setup for night vision, I'm going to be answering a question that's probably on your mind without even knowing it. Geeks, when is the night though? When is it technically night out? Well, at 21:30 is technically when night starts. So that's when dusk is transitioning into the nighttime. So you're safe to go into a night raid then. And when does it end? At around 5 a.m. So that's when dawn is kind of transitioning into morning. And just something to keep in mind, every 12 to 15 minutes of real time is an hour in the game. So let's say you're going into a raid at 4 a.m. and you think to yourself, I'm going to spend roughly, a half hour in this raid. Well, that means now half the time you're in the raid, you probably don't need your night vision. So if you are worried about losing it, you can't gamma it, you can't alpha it, you can't put it in your secure container. So you do have a better chance of getting spotted because it is going to be light out and you can lose that night vision. So just keep that in mind and use this general guide as when you should be using night vision. Now, a really cheap setup, probably your first setup you can do even with night vision, is with using the PNV-10T night vision. You can get this from Skier level 2. but you need more than just this one piece. You're also going to need the PNV 10T dovetail adapter. This is from skier level 2. And then you're going to need the titanium advanced tactical mount, and this is from Peacekeeper level 2. So once you get skier level 2 and Peacekeeper level 2, you can now have probably the cheapest, actually I know it for a fact, it is the cheapest setup, and it's actually really not that bad. It's not the, the monocle one where you can only see that little circle. This will do quite a bit for you when you're at night. You're gonna see a good field of view. It's not a ton, but it is way more than the monocle. And you know what? It's great for being such a cheap setup, I think. You're not gonna be too scared to lose this because it's still under 50,000 rubles. The cheapest helmet that this whole setup can go on is probably the 6B47, and you can get this from Ragman level 2, but I do want to show you something specific to this helmet right here. You see this piece in the center, this square. Any helmet that has this square at the front, which is quite a bit of helmets, can have the night vision put onto them. But if the helmet doesn't have this square piece in the front here, that means it can't go on there. So we're talking about the PNV, the AN, and the GP NVG. Those three can attach to any helmet that has this attachment to it. The only one that doesn't attach to these types of helmets are the Armasights, where you do need the special Armasight NVG mask, which means you can't use a helmet at all. But just keep in mind, when you're looking for a helmet, there's a ton out there. I'm not going to name them all, but if they have this little square, in the center there, it just means that you can use most night vision goggles with these helmets. One last thing I want to show everyone is the effect of painkillers when you're using night vision goggles. Now, a lot of times you're going to have to be popping pills if you get hurt, or say you have a broken leg or something and maybe you don't have any splints or something. So I just want to show you what the effects of painkillers does when you are rocking NVGs, because it severely not limits your view, but it really statics them up. And I don't even know any other way of saying it other than showing you. So this next segment, I'm going to show you what it looks like without painkillers and with painkillers, and then I'll be right back with you. So that's all my beginner tips and tricks and just some things to know about when you are wanting to start using night vision. And I really do hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please think about subscribing to the channel. It's free for you guys, but it means the world to me. Also realize I do stream 5 days a week on twitch.tv. Come on by, tell me anything. If you have a question, if you want to add to the conversation, you can either do it on Twitch or hey, put it in the comments below if I missed something, or if you guys have a little bit of tips and tricks you want to add to the conversation, just comment down below. And until next time, I will talk to you nerds later.